All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Also, want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth, and peace and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. Back at it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Came across this news article in the New York Post that reads, baby-faced Brooklyn gangbangers terrorize neighborhood with gun violence and boasted about carnage. And for face value, you could probably guess what nation these quote unquote baby faced gangbangers belong to. And there they are, 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 individuals. And for face value, they look like Hebrew Israelites, so-called black men, all right, so-called young black men. As far as the baby face thing goes, I mean, I get it, they're young, and but I mean, they look pretty rough, man. All right, and that'd be like, as far as like how people look in their eyes, man, that stuff be spiritual, man. You know, you got spirits on you, a lot of times it'll manifest and you can see the darkness, you can see the wickedness in a person's eyes, man. But the whole point being, you know, I don't know these guys' ages, but one 18, yeah, okay, there's one's 18, okay, yeah, they're, you know, anywhere from maybe like 16 to maybe 22 at the most, man, I'm guessing. But the whole point being, let's see what it says. All right. It says a band of baby-faced gangsters who dubbed themselves Road to Riches allegedly shot an innocent 68-year-old woman, opened fire inside a bodega, and brazenly boasted about unaliving a rival gangster as they terrorized their Brooklyn neighborhood with gun violence, prosecutors said Thursday. And, you know, the government categorizing these individuals that's a part of these organizations, gangs, also terrorists, all right? It's absolutely true, man. You know, they have went above and beyond, you know, protecting their block, all right, and protecting their gang or their organization from rival gangs. Once you start branching out and it's affecting other people, you are, you know, affecting the livelihood of, you know, otherwise innocent individuals. All right. So what does that mean? That means the government, all right, the one who's running things right now, the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, Esau, Edom. He's gonna come in like a madman, you know, sparing none, you know, and it's gonna, you know, really start with you young men of the nation of Israel, man, that's a part of these organizations. And we do understand, through prophecy, the Wadi Yahweh Bahashim Shah for prophecy, that it's going to trickle down until, you know, the Lord's hopeful elect being persecuted right along with the game bangers. They'll treat us the same, if not worse, than, you know, these individuals is actually causing this mayhem and carnage and out here with these weapons and actually doing destructive things, man. All right, but the whole point is this is not going to go on for too much longer, man. There are so many of our young men that's a part of these gangs and shit, or just these cliques, and they're doing all manners of wickedness, man. You know, stealing rings, all right, drug rings, and of course, the most worst thing is the violence, man. And again, once, you know, Esau, because nobody really cares if they're unaliving each other. Let's just keep it real. But once innocent children start to perish, and that's been going on for a long time, innocent, quote unquote, innocent people, because no man perishes being innocent. We understand that, but for face value, innocent people getting hit, man, it's just enough is enough, man. And this is happening throughout Babylon the Great. This is happening at other places over there in the UK. They're big on it too, man. But you know where they got it from, the Israelites over here. But you just see these stories and hear these stories day after day after day. Hell, they just in Chicago, but we're so numb to the violence in Chicago. It's like, but they just had, what was it, 14, 15, at least 14 people hit, you know. But that's like almost a daily thing, if not daily, surely weekly and monthly, that they have these mass, you know, shootings in Chicago and everywhere else, man. It's just day after day, just carnage. And the Lord, first and foremost, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah, is not about to let it continue. The Lord has let it get to this certain point for a reason. All right. So, you know, he can bring in the madman, sparing none. He can fulfill prophecy that our brothers will have an evil eye toward it, you know, our brothers, man. All these things came to pass, and they were part of the curses placed upon the nation of Israel because of their transgressions against the law, against Yahweh Shema Shai, law, statutes, and commandments for the nation of Israel. All right, we went off. Idolatry was a big thing. They really pissed the Lord off, if you will, and He let us have it. Now we're seeing the manifestation of that, and the climax, if you will, of that destruction, those curses, man, because we live in a time where our children are literal monsters, man. A lot of them, male and female, our young ladies are whores, very young age. They're probably, you don't even want to get into it, in indulging in heathen like customs and Roman and paganism like customs at a very young age. I'll leave it at that. And you probably know where I'm going with that for our daughters, getting ran through. Where's my Bible? All right, here we go. This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 2. Well, we'll start at verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh has spoken against you. That's not good. These are words that the Lord is speaking against the nation of Israel. You so-called blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native Americans, man. All right. O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought upon from the land of Egypt. Every last one of us. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. So there's that cut, if you will, for the Lord is dealing with everybody, and salvation is for everybody. No, no, no. Many times reiterated in this Bible, the scriptures, the Lord Himself, our brothers have taught us that the Lord is only, quote unquote, dealing with the nation of Israel. Okay. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. And one major way that the Lord dealt with the nation of Israel is by giving us the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And that was supposed to govern us. That was supposed to keep us peculiar. That was supposed to keep us above all these other nations on the earth. And the Lord said, because you guys, all right, I've only known you guys. Therefore, you're going to get punished. You're going to be a spectacle to the rest of the world. The whole world is going to inquire, what the hell is wrong with the so-called black and brown people? Why are they so destructive? Why are they always taking each other out? Why is the man and the woman dynamic absolutely effed up? Why is there so many single parent households? Why do they talk the way that they talk? Why are they so into jewelry and just stunting and stunting and stunting and look at me, look at me, look at me? That spirit of just, vanity, right? Without the righteousness to be the foundation of that stunting. We can stunt now, but it had to be in righteousness, man. But we're this is not our rest. We're teaching our people this is not our rest through the spirit, and they just don't understand. But the whole point being, all right, we got punished, and a part of our punishment was to just let our nation just have no order, out of control. The children are out of order, man. That's in second Esdras. Second Esdras, chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, there shall be a confusion also in many places. And amen, we're experiencing that, but definitely when we get in Jacob's trouble, there's going to be even more confusion, all right, and more chaos. And that's why it's important that the Lord teaches us wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, man, because we're coming into some confusing times. Hell, we're in confusing times now that grown ass people don't even understand their own gender, all right. And the fire shall be sent out again. Often these things are going to happen on a daily basis, consistently, and the wild beasts shall change their places. And here's the point: and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Now our nation dealt with this like no other. Make no mistake about it. It's actually a part of the actual specific curses that the Lord brought upon us, man. But not only our women of the nation of Israel, right, but the rest of these people are producing children in a declining society. So they're being brought up in wickedness like the earth has never seen before. Of course, the earth has seen, high levels of wickedness, but this being, the last go round, hey man, they're really showing their behinds, man. But the whole point being that there's women bringing forth monsters upon the earth, and especially of our nation. Okay, these young men aren't guys you want to or that you see tossing a football around or having a bike club and things like that. Playing full court basketball, things like that, that you just want to like mentor. They're absolute monsters. You damn near scared to pull up at a gas station. Now, it's always been an issue with the so-called youth, and they're always off as it relates to the adults. But man, we live in a time, man, where Hey, these, we're talking 11, 12, and up, man. They'll unalive you, man. If the Lord ain't with you, all right, they'll unalive you. They'll rob you, take your car, take your shit, all right. And this is not going to continue, man. You guys got to go. The Lord is absolutely justified in what he's getting ready to do, man. You think the government doesn't know about all the unalivings? Because Esau keeps tabs of us, man. So he knows, who's being born and who's being taken off the earth, man. So it's just absolutely out of control. And the Lord, if he is a righteous, just power, then he's not going to let these things continue forever. And it was never written, it was never prophesied for it to do so. It was, however, written and prophesied for it to get to this point and for it to be signs unto us, the characteristics. It's in what, Second Timothy, about, the characteristics of people in the last days: boasters, blasphemers, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Bahashim Hawashai. All these characteristics of and behaviors of people, preceding the Lord's second coming. We see that now more than ever with the whole selfie culture, the whole social media broadcast yourself culture. To the point where these cell phones, the internet, social media has become a damn near necessary part of life, man. And all it really does, other than the truth, is just breed more confusion and more vanity, man. That's why the Lord teaches us what manners ought we to be, to be in or what, paraphrasing, to be in part of that holy conversation, basically, paraphrasing. Nothing else matters, to be honest. If we're not talking about how we're to be saved, how to attain salvation, Yahweh Shema Shah, the law, statutes, the commandments, our nation, things that lead to salvation, everything else is really in vain. Even if it's just casual conversation, sports and things like that. Okay, cool. You're not talking about having an orgy, but you're not talking about the kingdom of Yahweh Shema Shah, which is the most important thing, man. So that's what we should be occupied in mostly. Talking about the kingdom of heaven, how to be saved, Yahweh Shah, calling upon those names, praying, correcting ourselves, receiving correction, taking that, giving that, and we can get up out of here. But a lot of our people don't realize that this is not our rest, so they're comfortable here. They're still chasing the bag. They're having conversation on how to get more money, okay, things like that. And it's just not that time, man. We're in a time where we need to be preparing for battle, preparing for this spiritual war that's going to get physical as well, man. It's going to be insane, because the Lord is not a man that he shall lie. If he said these things are going to come to pass, it's going to be an absolute mess. It was an absolute mess during ancient Egypt. It was an absolute mess during World War I, World War II. The many wars that Babylon the Great has fought. It's a freaking mess, man. How much more if the Lord said this is going to be a time like the earth has never seen before? All right, it's gonna be crazy out here. And we go back to the book of Exodus, chapter 23, in verse 2, and it reads, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. So the whole earth is just wicked. Namely, since the laws was only given to the Israelites, 2/3 of the nation of Israel, which is more than the 1/3, is evil. We're not supposed to follow the multitude to do evil, as well as our captives, man, Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations. We're not supposed to be like them. That's why we're supposed to keep the law, because it kept us above these people. It kept us peculiar, observing the weekly Shabbat, wearing garments with, when it's time to teach and things, or when we're doing holy things. All that's peculiar to these people. They don't understand that. They think they do. They don't understand the nation of Israel and how it really go. We're supposed to be, a righteous spectacle unto these people above them, and they would have saw our prosperity right in front of them, man. And eventually they would have had to follow suit. Then they're gonna want to, keep the law and dress a certain way, and not, indulge in sodomy and things like that, because they would see the benefits of it. They would see how beautiful and how much we would flourish as a nation by keeping the law. All right. And it shows you how stupid these people are, because lo and behold, even though our people are absolutely destroyed, the rest of these nations are still following us. They still talking like us, dressing like us, all the fun stuff, basically. Everybody want to hold on to the fun stuff, all the vain folly stuff that our people take participate in, man. And it shows you yet and still our people are above spiritually, man, above these people still, man. It's just we don't have the complete package, man. Without Yahweh Shema Shah really dealing with us. Now the Lord's dealing with his hopeful elect, but it's not like we're back in our perfection. The Lord just had mercy upon us enough to be able to see right from wrong and to be able to teach our brothers and sisters until he does restore our nation, starting with Yahweh Shah, getting his just due. Then, the Lord's hopeful elect, receiving their blessings, from Yahweh Bahashim Shah. And then eventually, the rest of these wicked Israelites that will have been, reborn in the kingdom of Yahweh Bahashim Shah. So we got all those things to look forward to, man. But again, the whole point being, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak and cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. So there it is, man. Don't follow a multitude to do evil. Don't be like these people. Wait on the Lord. Vengeance is of Yahweh Hashem Shah. Revenge is of the Lord. We just gotta wait. Easier said than done. But it's a lot of people that got blood on their hands. A lot of people that have offended us and done us wrong, starting with Esau, Edom, and of course our own brothers and sisters, man. And the Lord is going to get them all. Matter of fact, it's the spirit. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 and verse 6. And it reads, seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And there it is, man. Hey, first and foremost, Esau Edom going into captivity. That's the huge recompense. And that word recompense goes into repay. So repayment of what they did unto us. And if you don't believe it, shut up unbelief, so what? It doesn't matter. The Lord is not a man that he shall lie. If he said that these people are going to go into captivity, just like he said we were, you might have thought he was joking, and it actually happened. If y'all think that we're joking, look at what happened to us, Esau. We didn't think the Lord was really going to, bring upon all that trouble. We good. This is our power, and we've been getting away with it, just doing these animal sacrifices, and then look at what happened to us, man. Right back in the captivity via cargo slave ships, a lot of us, man. All right, into this wicked, confusing place known as the USA. All right, but the whole point being, it is a righteous thing for the Lord to make that repayment, man. So, the recompense is coming, man. Don't follow multitude to do evil. All these scamming, the butt shots, the adultery, the orgies, that our people are in, all the manners of wickedness that our people are in, they're gonna get dealt with, and the Lord is gonna repay them as well for not listening, taking heed to the work that these men are doing for the nation of Israel, themselves and their household first and foremost, but for the nation of Israel, these men are working, teaching you, giving you the mysteries and things like that, and a lot of their own people. I'm referring to the Lord's prophets, man. A lot of people just scoff at them, disregard them, if nothing else. All right, and the Lord's going to repay that because they're going to want to come in the spirit that the Lord's hopeful elect is currently in, praying, fasting, calling upon the names, fellowship, and talking about, real spiritual things. Our people will be willing in that day, but it's going to be too late. That's why we're trying to teach our people. The Lord's going to cut you off, man. All right, and you're going to really experience that. See, the Lord is kind of holding this thing together, but when he unleashes those 4 destructive winds, man, from the 4 corners of the earth, you're going to feel it. You're going to be able to see it. You're going to be able to really experience what it's like not to have the Lord, protecting you, man. You know what I mean? Like, for real, when he just lets just chaos and you see, the wrath of the Lord because he's not involved, quote unquote, and he just letting man just tear this shit up. He done put the spirit upon man. He done put the spirit upon angels, all right, and to work on the hearts of man, and everybody just going crazy and people breaking in each other's houses, and there's what is it, cannibal? It's gonna go down. Did you not hear us prophesy cannibalism? It seems far-fetched now because the grocery stores are still there and food is still in them and gas stations are right around the corner and they're still up and running. But one day, man, it's really gonna come to pass. And if you really can ever meditate on that, actually really, feel that through the spirit, it's a terrifying thing. What the hell we know about cannibalism, and even us that's been to war, we've seen some crazy stuff for sure. But come on, man. I don't really think I've ever seen nothing like that other than the movies, man. I ain't never seen my neighbor bugging out to the point where, they're trying to break in my shit. You understand? And we've had, as humans, black people, especially in the hood, come on, man. Jake or break in your house for a lot less, man. How much more during a time that the earth has never seen before? Especially for you single women out there, that's gonna be a problem. That's a scary thing for a man. You don't know what's gonna happen if somebody's breaking in your house, whether it's in the middle of the night, which they don't really do that. That Jake like to break in your house in the middle of the day when you at work, man. That's how they do it in the hood over here most of the times, man. Nobody coming in. You got to be absolutely out your mind, and it happens, man. Especially on the Edomite side of things. You know how bugged out you got to be to try to break in somebody's house in the middle of the night where clearly people are at home. You're just asking for it. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. Really going back to follow a multitude, or not a multitude to do evil. Yeah, times are hard. Yeah, we're in need, but we don't want to get, so down in the flesh, man, that we're out there trying to steal, man, and rob. We got to wait on the Lord. We got to serve the Lord better. We got to, cry out to Yahweh Bahashim and Hawashai, because every day we're in need, man. How much more during this time of great tribulation, man? All right, when ain't nobody got nothing, when you can't borrow money from your family or even your brothers in this truth, man, when everybody's, just in these dire straits, man, are you gonna need Yahweh Bahashim and Hawashai, and you're gonna need the faith required to believe the Lord is gonna be with you. That's why it's important to do these things now. You get out there and it's test time. You're not gonna have no real faith, man, because you never waited on the Lord. You don't know what it's like to pray for something, then wait. I mean, to diligently pray, fast, all right, for something, and be patient, but then watch it actually come to pass, man. All right, you don't have that experience, you don't have that skill set, so you're gonna do horrible out here. At least the Lord's hopeful elect is gonna go into the great tribulation with faith of a mustard seed. If that's all we got, that's all we got. But guess what? The Lord not a man that he shall lie. That's all that's required, but it's got to be real. All right, and the Lord is so powerful that if you believe on him just a little bit, if he's willing, he will be merciful unto you, and you'll be as King David, man. All right, if the Lord put that spirit upon you, you'll be able to chase 1,000 men. All right, if the Lord put that spirit upon you, your household will be protected, man. If the Lord put the spirit upon you, but hey, you got to do what's required. You can't be out here wilding out like the 2/3. You can't still be being a nigga. All right, or Boricua, or whatever hell they got going on the north side with the Northern Kingdom. I didn't grow up around a lot of Northern Kingdom, man, so I really don't know how they rock. But they out of control as well, man, for sure. I know that much. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, that's pretty much the point. That was second Thessalonians. Yep. So yeah, basically the whole point, the Lord is getting ready to bring judgment upon this place. All this whole this mass these mass shootings that's happening, all the gang stuff, man, is getting very old. Matter of fact, honestly, man, just seeing is getting old, man. There's just this spirit I just have upon me where everything is just absolutely exhausting. Like social media, just getting on it. I can't wait, man. I highly doubt we'll be in the kingdom with these damn devices. I'm sure the Lord has, some stuff going on, man, for sure. We can't even fathom, man. But I'm tired of all these damn cell phones and the stupid dances, and oh my goodness, the podcast, everybody talking now, which is cool. More people are talking about real things, but man, it's still not our rest, man. Sports is played out now, music is played out now. The food ain't hitting like it used to be. Pizza Hut ain't hit since the 90s. They been changed their recipe. Breyers is a joke. The ice cream, you know what I'm saying? Nothing tastes like the 90s and the 80s. Shit just tastes bad. The food not even really good. We just hungry and greedy. So it's like, what are we really holding on to? We're aging. Our generation is passing right before our eyes. Cancer is at an all-time high. It's like, what are we holding on to? Like, think about if it when it does the nuclear war pop off. Think about it. Why would you even want to be on the earth if to survive that shit? You know what I mean? It shows you the naive spirit that these people got that built these bunkers. Like, do you not know? You have no freaking clue. None of them do. None of them do, to know what real nuclear war is gonna do. They can have their, simulations and things like that, but they know multiple countries shooting multiple nuclear missiles. You're not finna recover from that, man. You're gonna be in a bunker Man, this shit gonna be a mess, man. I speak for myself at least, man. I definitely wouldn't want to return to Earth. That just got everything is gonna be absolutely different, man. You know what I mean? You have no idea. They have no idea what they're getting ready to do. Well, actually, they're getting ready to cause the manifestation of the second coming of Malachi Hawashah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's what's getting ready to happen via World War III and those missiles that I'm referring to being shot off, man. All right. So we want to make sure the whole point is that we're on the right hand side of the Lord. So let's not be like these idiots. And the more that we see it, we speak against it through the Spirit. We cry out to the Lord. We put curses if the Spirit's upon us, to put curses upon, individuals and situations that happen upon the earth, man. And it all be the will of Yahweh Bahashim Mahawashah. But Lord willing, man, it's almost go time. Lord willing, we're trained up. The water Yahweh Shah for training us and giving us this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Lord willing, from sincere Akim out there and sincere Aqua, Lord willing, we do well out here, man. We just want to impress our Father, impress our big brother, our Lord and Savior, and we just want to do well and go home. We're kind of in the spirit of we're pretty much out the world spiritually. We can see these things, and we want out. Like, we want out. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, we want out of this captivity. Lord willing, we get that quote unquote early release, as they say when Jake locked up. Lord willing, the Lord, and of course I say quote unquote because the Lord already has that time, that hour. But for our perception, get that early release for good behavior. All right, the Lord's hopeful elect. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Till next time, Shalom.